Hello, networkers, and welcome back to another episode of Ask the Network Engineer. And in this episode, I'm going to answer a question that was posted by Sheldon Moss. And it's a great question, and this is basically is going to be a part two of voice versus security. So I talked about that in a previous episode, but let me first read the question and we'll get into all the details. So Sheldon's question is the following. He says, a coworker and I are trying to decide whether we should go for our CCNA voice or CCNA security. Can you talk about the differences? Presently, we handle the VoIP in our organization, and he is pretty much a interaction center certified specialist. And his argument is that we already understand VoIP and we do it daily. It would be more beneficial to follow the security path since that is where everything is headed. I was thinking that since we do VoIP, it would just make more logical sense to follow the voice path because that's what he deals with. Can you please weigh in on this? Yes, I will. So let's talk about that. Okay, so the very first thing I would say is first, I recommend to watch episode 20 where I talked about voice versus security. So this is great. But I want to add on to that conversation in this episode. So let me weigh in on this. So over the last couple of years, I do see that as network engineers, we have experience with LANs and WANs, data center, security, wireless. That's all kind of what we do as part of our job. We do routing and switching. That's part of the same stuff. Then far away from that batch of people, of network engineers, there's people who do voice and they do storage. It's not something that we as network engineers do. My involvement of voice has drastically changed in the last couple of years. I'm not doing a lot of voice anymore. When I talk to a lot of my contacts at Cisco, which are sales engineers, they're not doing voice as much as they used to. They're doing more cloud kind of consulting and professional services. And I was like, that's interesting because I'm seeing the exact same thing. I'm doing more data center, more LAN WAN kind of stuff like that. Not much on the voice side. And that means that voice, like storage, is becoming more of a specialty, a unique specialty that is more applicable in larger environments. Where large environments, they're going to have a dedicated voice person or persons, same for the storage side. But for smaller companies or SMB, even medium-sized companies, needing a full-time voice or a storage person is becoming less and less and less. But again, it's very important I say this, it does depend on the environment. It may be a medium-sized company, but that doesn't mean that they will never need a voice engineer. It does depend on what their environment is and what their services are. Furthermore, voice services are being pushed up to the cloud and being offered as a cloud computing application. And that's what companies are using. So that means that companies that are small, SMB, medium, they don't require or really need to have a Cisco Unified Communications Manager cluster, a call manager cluster. They don't really require that. But for large companies, which makes sense, there are thousands of employees and people that's going to have phones and access to various features. So again, it is more applicable for larger environments because of things being pushed up to the cloud. Plus, I'm just going to say it, even a company like Cisco, some of their project managers, a lot of their employees, they don't have a physical phone anymore. They have a soft phone that's on their computer. They do everything wirelessly. A lot of them don't even have a cubicle area or a desk. They can basically they are very mobile of them doing their job. That's not for all Cisco employees, keep that in mind. But that's what it is for a lot of the more flexible employees that can actually accommodate that. So it's just kind of showing the flexibility of what voice is doing. Plus, a lot of the phone systems, a lot of them are open source. So you can actually get the software. There's tons of them out there. You can host it on the cloud that you can manage, have a lot of free SIP clients that the users are using to connect, and there it is, place receive phone calls. The internet has improved drastically Where before we said that the internet was more of a best effort, not much with quality of service with voice, the internet has greatly improved over the years. So the issues of slowness and impact of voice services is not as much of an issue now as it was before. So again, it's showing more of a support case, or it's not support case, a use case of why companies are using cloud-based phone systems to use as a phone system in their environment and not having to have a server that they have to manage and maintain and have an actual person manage it on a day-to-day basis. That can be expensive for a company. So I would recommend, honestly, to continue on the voice track that you have. You have the experience, you're the voice guy. Take advantage of that. But be aware of the job market. Don't be lazy with that. Be aware of the job market very often, okay? Because you know that now you have a very special, unique qualification. And you want to look at larger companies. So if you're looking for a potential job, you want to look at the larger companies and see some of their job offerings for looking for a voice engineer or something around that. So that's what I recommend. Long time ago, I worked at a company, and for their servers, I mean, this is like a long time ago, before Windows NT, they had Novell servers, okay? And, you know, their mail server, I think, was called GroupWise. The point is, that's very, very old stuff. Like I said, that's like back in the 1990s. And there are people now that still specialize with Novell servers and GroupWise. That number is smaller, but there are some companies that are still using Novell. I'm just saying. And that means that there are people that are still sticking with that niche, with that specialty, and they're just being careful, looking at the job market and going where the jobs are that requires a Novell specialist. So that's kind of a good example, though, that if there are still Novell specialists out there, there's still a market for you. But you got to be very, very careful, because even as a Novell specialist, the job opportunities are definitely a lot smaller compared to if you're being a Linux specialist or Microsoft specialist. So you want to keep that in mind. And I always kind of had the belief of you want to be in a occupation that has more opportunities. But then again, you're competing with other people for the same opportunities. If you really specialize, there's not a lot of people in that particular area, which means it could definitely get you more opportunities. But you don't want to be jumping from company to company. You can't do that when you have a very unique specialty, because it could be harder to find the next job. So again, continue doing your voice stuff, but do understand that your coworker is absolutely correct. Voice is a very, very strong field with things like the variants of ransomware. Security is deeply, very, very, very important. And as I said before, data center and security are very heavy fields that you should definitely have some kind of experience with. So still be the voice engineer. You're doing your job, maintain that specialty. But I would recommend to get the experience, getting some security related experience. I think that would be very much of a benefit. You have the experience as a voice person. You don't need to be a voice certified person. You can do that if you like, but I would probably just recommend you have your voice experience. That's great. Experience means a lot more than being certified on paper. Okay. But I would then recommend to, again, get the security certification. Get that and start building on gaining practical experience in the same environment that you're working in, if it's possible. So that means that try to get exposure to working with the firewalls in that environment, because I'm assuming they're going to be next generation firewalls. Get comfortable with deploying a lot of these next generation firewalls and dealing with the next generation features. That's definitely going to give you a good level of experience of getting into the network security field, because a lot of companies are going to have a next generation firewall and they want to have qualified people that know how to administer those products. So what you're doing in summary is you're still doing your job. You're still the voice specialist. So you got that unique requirement that you have, or that unique qualification that you have. That's fantastic. But you're also pursuing and you're gaining additional skills and knowledge in security. And you may find out that you like that more. And if you're doing some of that on the job, so I would say take the initiative, be proactive, find opportunities where you can get involved and get your hands dirty with the security aspects of the company that you're working for. Okay, that's going to be a big benefit. And if you love doing security, then you can just slowly kind of move in that direction. Working at a company where that has a lot of different departments, like if there's security, if there's voice. Because if you're a voice specialist, that tells me that you're working in a fairly large environment. Take advantage of that. Get involved. Do the security. Because if you like that, then you can do that transition a lot easier compared to just quitting and then going to work for a new company as a security person, because they want to see your experience. Okay, so try to gain that experience because you may actually like that. And we're done with this episode. So if you have any questions about being a network engineer or anything in the networking field, post those questions below in the comments and your question will come up in a future episode on this channel. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe. That means a lot. And support us at routhub.net. We've got a lot of cool training that we have and a lot more training that'll be released in the future. And until next time, keep networking.